Hello, good morning. In continuation to the yesterday's discussion on alignment, we have seen some of the points of how to choose an alignment, the characteristics of an alignment, to decide the obligatory points, and how an alignment can be judiciously selected. We have even used the word technologically brilliant alignment. Once you get a technologically brilliant alignment, then once a roadway comes, keeping that alignment contained by that alignment, then that roadway will have very effective use for the overall logistics, for the overall transportation systems, and for the development of any place or country. One more thing to be kept in mind while selecting an alignment is that alignment shall not encroach more built up spaces. If an alignment encroaches more built up spaces such as structures and buildings, demolishing those structures, giving compensation for those structures will be very high, because the overall cost of the project will considerably be elevated. Another aspect is that alignment shall not be containing more crossings. Whenever the alignment is having more crossings, one type of negotiating the crossing is by construction of bridges. Construction of bridge involves crores of rupees. So whenever the number of bridges going to be constructed along an alignment is more, obviously the overall cost of the construction will be very high. So the alignment should have minimal structural constructions other than the real roadway. In addition to the roadway, whatever structures are coming along the alignment will add cost of the project. So sometimes you may have to deviate, by some structures can be avoided. So here we have told you that alignment should be short and straight, but there is a possibility to avoid the structures. Sometimes alignment may have to be deviated. Some structures cannot be demolished because of the emotional constraints, because of the importance of the structural building. At that time, again, alignment has to be diverted. And obviously, when you have more and more obligatory points, again, alignment may have to be deviated. Ultimately, you finally get an alignment. Once you get an alignment, then on either side of the alignment, on the left side as well as the right side, you need space for the construction of the road. Usually, alignment can be the center line, and you can have land for construction of the road on either of its sides equally, so that there will be a judicious distribution of the spaces. Taking spaces from people, taking spaces, objects, structures, buildings of any kind from people for the construction of the roadway is called acquisition. Acquisition is nothing but you take the land or building from them and give them a suitable compensation. Sometimes there will be more open land in one side and there will be more built up land the other side. At that time, the center line concept may get deviated. Where you have more open land, just to avoid involved acquisition, you take more space in the open land, reduce some space in the other side. There also then the alignment has to be shifted. All those things are needed, and there may be cases where you have to sometimes change and think of a modified alignment after some time. That also may be possible, because whatever precautions you take, there can be an instant where once you reach, before reaching the destination, starting from the source, you would have come across a thing which is not expected in the initial stage of the survey. So while selecting the alignment, you have to expect the unexpected too. But once you fix up the alignment, then getting the details along and across the alignment are easy nowadays, because you have very modern, sophisticated surveying systems. Everything can be automated, everything can be even remote. You have photogrammetric surveying, you have aerial surveying, you have geographical information systems. You can even use drone for surveying. So getting the details in and around of the alignment, along its length and across its length are possible. Only time will be more consumed in fixing of the alignment. Once alignment is fixed, the rest of the portions, because of the sophisticated surveying systems nowadays employed in all civil engineering projects, the time consumed will be very less. You would have seen people surveying even after the construction of a highway. People may be taking the details for the development of the highway. Nowadays, the common system used is the total station. People start using total stations because you have minimum infrastructure, but you will get the maximum details. It can be connected to a remote computer. You can real time get all the details in real time. Once you get the required details and it is fed to the computer, it's a software. The system, total station, will have its own software that will be connected to the laptop, or you can, it can be connected to the mobile phones too, or the PC. It can be connected to the servers also. So people who are in different places, can get the details and ask the surveyor to modify why this is not agreeing with that should be changed. All those discussions can be together. There can be a group remote discussion, which is technically called as the blackboard architecture. Blackboard architecture is nothing but people at different places think about a project, give their discussions. Accordingly, the discussions, corrections or modifications required will be done then and there. That's a real-time monitoring and management by a group of people involved. So that itself, that is the latest strategy which people are relaying to get the alignment selected and get the details along and across the alignment at the earliest possible way with the least error, having the precision accuracy to the maximum. So once the alignment is fixed, the number of bridges, the number of crossings, such as road bridges or railway bridges or water bodies, all those things have to be minimized, because whenever these are more and more, the overall cost of the roadway construction will be very high. Time for construction completion will be more, and each bridge may cost crores of rupees. So reducing even a single bridge will reduce the cost considerably. So alignment should have minimum intrusion of crossings, and solid structures as far as possible shall be absent in the alignment. It will be an open land, some trees, small bushes, or some small hills which will be cut. All those things may be there, but there should not be solid structures which may have to be removed, especially when it's owned by private people. Then the compensation will be very high, because it is actually a demolition process and a rehabilitation process will be required So acquisition of a built-up land will be more involved and complex compared to acquisition of an open land. So minimize the number of intruding structures or buildings along the alignment. Sometimes it may not be possible to do that, but as far as possible, an ideal alignment should be along an open environment. And minimum crossings. Sometimes the alignment has to be deviated when there are emotional aspects of non-possibility of structures to be demolished or buildings to be demolished, buildings of religious origins. People may hesitate, they may go to the law, or some historical monuments. All those things are some place of importance. At that time, the alignment may have to be deviated. Sometimes the alignment has to go to some mandatory points. So minimize the mandatory points, minimize the places of importance, and start from the source and go to the destination. In eventuality, even if you take all care between the source and destination, during the process of development, there may be instances where you may have to change from one alignment to another alignment for a short stretch because of unforeseen reasons. That's an eventuality. Usually it should not be. If the surveying and the detailed collections are technologically controlled, and as I told you yesterday, if it is a technologically brilliant alignment, then possibility of changing the alignment will not arise. Then the next process is called the acquisition. Acquisition is the process of taking away the property, especially the open land, from people for the construction of the roadway. Private firms or people may be owning land alone or land and building. And government has the right to acquire any land for the common cause, for the development of the state or for the overall development for a common cause. Government is having the right as per Land Acquisition Act 1949. Land Acquisition Act 1949. There may be amendments according time whenever time passes. But the basic act relies on Land Acquisition Act 1949. People will be given compensations for the acquired land, considering the book value. That's another aspect of registration. You have value of land and building at different places according to the importance of the place. And there will be some other parameters also while calculating the compensation amount. Suppose the people who are giving the land are not happy with the amount they are getting for the acquisition, they can go legally to the court of law, and usually there will be a dedicated judiciary system which will be dealing with acquisition problem through the process technically called arbitration. Arbitration is a legal negotiation between the two parties. In this case, it will be government and the owner. So, arbitration will be made between the owner and the government, and they will come to a suitable agreement. The maximum time taken before the execution of the project is this process, the acquisition process. Any roadway where the acquisition is more and involved with more people, possibility of delay of the project will be very high. Because even 75 to 80% of the people have given their land, even 10 to 15% are remaining, and if they are strict, they go to higher courts, they go to the apex courts. Legally, they have the fundamental right. That will considerably consume the time So one of the reasons of major road projects for a longer stretches are delayed because of the acquisition arbitration. We will see tomorrow. Thank you very much. God bless.